Missouri Congressman, 4th Congressional District, Mark Alford is here on KCMO 95.7 FM. Set that preset as we get it rolling on a busy Wednesday morning across Kansas City. We got a lot to get to with him. Of course, we know what's going on overseas. Israel just fending off Iran and that attack over the weekend. But the biggest story in town this morning is this report, an article from Bloomberg, that Mayor Lucas did confirm late yesterday afternoon, headlined, New York City migrants are being welcomed by Kansas City's mayor to fill jobs. Quentin Lucas seeking to attract those who have newly arrived in the U.S. to fill jobs in the expanding region. Congressman Alford, good morning. What do you say about this news report that came out yesterday?
Well, good morning, Pete. I appreciate the question. Look, I think this is a bad idea, and I don't want to get involved in how the mayor runs the city, and along with the city council there. I no longer live in the Kansas City city limits. However, I will say that I think this is a bad idea for our region, and that will spill over to the 4th Congressional District, I think, Cass County. I think what you have seen in New York and other places where migrants have come because they're sanctuary cities, and basically that's what I think this proposal lends itself to, is a sanctuary for work. From what I've read, that the migrants that would be coming from Colorado and other places can qualify for work permits for up to 180 days. I think the system in itself is flawed in allowing that to happen. This administration, this president has allowed 9 million illegal aliens into our sovereign nation since he took office. When you start providing opportunities, that even promotes that you are welcome here in America. You're welcome here to come to take part and be part of the fabric of America. And all I've said all along is come the right way, wait in line, remain in Mexico until your asylum case is heard. And then if it's adjudicated as a legitimate asylum claim, which only like 10% of them are, then you're welcome to come to the United States of America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And by the way, it's not like this is really working out well for Chicago and New York and some of these other cities. I mean, the notion that everyone's just looking for a great construction job is clearly not the case. Mark Alford is on KCMO. Now, I want to spend some time, of course, on what we're seeing overseas and what we saw on Saturday night in particular with Iran, with the help of the U.S. and some others, shooting down the vast majority, 99% of the missiles and drones that came from Iran. We know what happened on Saturday, but what have the conversations been here the last couple of days as a member of the Armed Services Committee?
Well, we're concentrating on this heavily. It was a topic of discussion during our budget hearing yesterday with the Army. We have another budget hearing on Armed Services Day with the Air Force. The fact is that we have got to help Israel. We were just over there. Leslie and I were over there with 16 other congressmen and women and their spouses. We met with the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, the President, Herzog, and some military leaders, and met with families of hostages who they're hoping are still alive, but they don't know at this point if they are still alive. We went to the kibbutzes where these families were tortured, murdered, burned alive, raped, and it's just this is a state, a nation state that is in trauma. They've been in trauma since October 7th. They're surrounded on all sides by neighbors who do not just don't want them there, they want to annihilate them. So when you hear someone say, from the river to the sea, that's from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean, they want to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. And I think it's incumbent upon us, because Israel is our closest ally in the Mideast, that we have to help them defend themselves. And I think that's what you saw as Iran and its proxies fired some 300 rockets and drone systems and missiles into Israel. And I'm just proud that we were there to help out.
So what does that mean if Israel is expected to respond? The administration has said that the U.S. will not help in any kind of counterattack, but is that 100% accurate, or are we loosely defining what exactly our help would look like in a counterattack and what that counterattack is defined as?
Well, I think this is a continuation of President Biden's spineless foreign affairs policy. Don't tell Iran what you're going to do. Let them guess. let them be wondering if the greatest military power on the face of the earth is going to come knocking at your door, which we should be doing, Pete. Iran, with the help of China and Russia, they are building drone systems that these 30,000 drones that they are sending into Israel and over Israel with the attempt to bomb innocent people with these drone systems. And we're using $1 million missiles to take out a $30,000 drone. Well, after a while, that just doesn't add up financially. It depletes our stock of these important weapons. And I think we should be taking out these drone factories inside Iran. We've got to send a message, but this president has an attitude of appeasement for whatever reason to Iran. He releases $16 billion in sanctioned money to them, and with those fungible assets, they have funded programs for proxies in Hezbollah, Syria, and other programs that are attacking Israel.
Mark Alford, Missouri Congressman, of course, is on KCMO Talk Radio, 4th Congressional District. Where are we at, Congressman? I know that there's, well, I don't know if it's growing, but at least it's getting talked about. Another motion to vacate Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. Do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea at this point?
I think it is the stupidest idea I've heard in a long time. Look, Mike Johnson is not a perfect speaker. You're not going to get a perfect speaker. I don't know who would replace him. I can't see Chip Roy as the Speaker of the House. I can't see Marjorie Taylor Greene as Speaker of the House or Tom Massey. Yesterday in conference that we have these private meetings with our group, it's already gotten out, so I'll talk about it. It's out in the public. Tom Massey stands up and tells the speaker, and we have an open mic session where everyone can talk for a minute or ask questions. And he said, look, we are voting against the rule for these supplemental packages for Israel and Ukraine. And you need to announce when you're going to leave the speaker's job, like Boehner did, or we're going to basically call to vacate the chair. We're going to fire you like they did Kevin McCarthy. I think it showed a lot of disrespect for the office of the speaker, number one. And number two, I think it's a fool's errand to, at this point, put us through what we went through back in October, 5 weeks of where we were not able to do anything because we didn't have a Speaker of the House.
Yeah, and, listen, I know Kevin McCarthy had to set up this, motion to vacate process to get himself the Speaker's gavel. But, boy, it's not working out. It's just not working out, it seems, because, like you said, it's hampering you guys at every turn, is it not?
Well, it is, and it was. I'm losing track of time, but I think in December of 2022, after I'd won the general election, I came here for orientation. That is when our conference voted on these rules that we were going to abide by in the House. And part of those rules were it went from having the majority of the majority, 50% plus one persons in the House. If they called to fire the speaker, motion to vacate, then we would vote on that. And because McCarthy wanted this job so badly, he negotiated with these people, and it got down to just one person could stand up and call to fire the Speaker of the House, and that's what Matt Gaetz did last year. And so this anvil was hanging over Kevin McCarthy's head for 8 months, and it finally dropped on his head. And now that same anvil has been hoisted up, and it's over Mike Johnson. It'll be over every speaker until we get this fixed. We've got to change this rule.
Mark Alford, Missouri, of course, Congressman, 4th Congressional District on KCMO 95.7 FM. Thank you so much for being here, Mark. We appreciate it. A lot going on, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, Pete, thank you.
Mark Alford, great stuff on KCMO Talk Radio.